I love hummus, and the best part about it, it can be an easy dip with warm pita or a sauce with a perfectly charred skirt steak, and amazing on gyros. But the trick is to how do you get those chickpeas super tender? I'm going to show you today. The simplest little tip is going to make the difference in your hummus. We're going to make Israeli Tahini Hummus on this episode of Cook This. Hey guys, I'm Shereen with Cook This. So first, to get started on our homemade hummus, first you want to start with dried chickpeas. So I have about half a pound. I soaked them overnight, so you want to soak them for about 8 hours to overnight in cold water, fully submerged. You want to give them a little bit of room when they expand. And the trick to get these chickpeas really tender is baking soda. There's that science that now plays into the cooking role. So I have about half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then I just drain them, rinse them. Now we're gonna cook them in the remaining half a teaspoon of baking soda. So what that baking soda does is it just breaks down that tough exterior wall and really tenderizes the chickpeas, but it pulverizes them. So you don't want to use this tip if you want the beans whole and intact. This is only great when you're pureeing the beans, and it's hard to get chickpeas tender, so this is a great trick. Now we're just going to cook them. I'm going to fill it with cold water. So you just want to fully submerge them. So I am going to cook these beans in a pressure cooker, which is going to cut down the amount of cooking time by a third. You could totally do this on the stovetop, same concept. It'll take about an hour, hour and 15 minutes on the stove. Here in the pressure cooker, 10 to 12 minutes. It's crazy, right? And we're working from dried beans. So much healthier than the can. You want to add a little bit of canola oil. What that does is once beans come to that full boil, they have a sort of I guess you could call it like a little scum on the top where it bubbles. That oil will help prevent it from sort of breaking out the seams. And no salt ever when you're cooking beans. It makes them tough. So we have that little bit of the baking soda that I just put in there. You just want to stir it. Now I'm going to put it on high pressure. It automatically locks. We're going to set it for 12 minutes. And in 12 minutes, we're just gonna drain them, and then I'm gonna prepare my other ingredients to make the homemade hummus. If you wanna do this on the stovetop, you just bring it to a boil, remove that scum, reduce it to a medium heat, medium-low heat, cover it for about 1 hour and 1 hour and 15 minutes along with that baking soda, and then drain them, rinse them, and you'll get the same results. All right, so first we're gonna prep our garlic and lemon juice while our beans are cooking. So you just want to roughly chop them. The food processor is going to do the rest of the work. So that great tip from the baking soda, I've been recently reading a cookbook called Zayev. So it's one of our great restaurants here in Philadelphia. And that tip is in that cookbook because that's how they make their hummus. Genius idea. So thank you. All right, so we have our fresh lemon juice. So you want a good amount of lemon juice. You know how I love my lemon juice. So this is what's gonna make a really flavorful hummus. And then we're gonna give it that beautiful, exotic, passionate spice from some cumin and a little sneak heat from some cayenne. All right, our beans are done. So now with the pressure cooker, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna release the pressure right at the top so that way it can bring it down and we can drain our beans. So we're gonna drain the beans, but don't rinse them because there's great flavor on them. You wanna go in and taste it. They're perfect. Now I like to season them. So look, they're just totally pulverized, and that's what we want. Season them with salt, so a good amount of salt. And now we're gonna make our hummus. So first in our food processor, we want our garlic and our lemon juice. So we're just gonna work in 2 steps. So the reason why we want to puree our garlic with our lemon juice is it's gonna just sort of mellow out the garlic flavor and make it much more pleasant to eat in its raw form. So about 30 seconds. And then you just wanna brush it down, make sure every little piece gets pureed. Now our chickpeas. Chickpeas are my favorite. That and black olives. I could just eat them by the handfuls. In fact, when I was a little girl, that's what I would do. I would eat chickpeas. What the strangest thing, right? So good for you. All right, in that goes our tahini. So you can find this in the grocery store in your international aisle, or Whole Foods will have it. So basically your tahini is sesame seed paste, and it makes this very creamy and delicious and pretty authentic. We have some cumin, so that's our warm spices, and I like to add a little bit of cayenne. So there's that sneak heat, season, salt and pepper. So we're gonna season a little bit as we go, let it puree, and we're really gonna let this puree for about 3-4 minutes. We want it to be super, super, super creamy. That makes for the best hummus. Through the feed tube, we're gonna add about 3 tablespoons of a good extra virgin olive oil. That'll give a nice fruity flavor. And then just make sure you push down the sides to get all the spices and all the little chickpeas combined. All right, I'm gonna get this into our bowls with some warm pita. And then just finish and garnish it. So now to garnish the hummus. It's so creamy. You want a little bit of a good extra virgin olive oil, just drizzle it right over the top. So I'm serving it today as a dip. A little paprika, you could also use cayenne, and then just for some color and added freshness, some parsley. So if you celebrate Passover, this is a great appetizer to serve your guest. For this recipe, go to the newspaper's website and visit me on Facebook and Twitter for more culinary tips. I'm Shereen with Cook This. Thanks for watching. See you next week. So creamy.